There's a hardship, a harsh, a pushing through a harsh. Error of the heart, an error, an irritation. What is going on here? There's a story of a jewelry box where there was something intercepted. An error of the heart. This is an abuse of the technology. This is not so much technology, but it is the craft. It is like an error of the heart. A relationship, this is saying direct descendant or whatever with royalty, but I believe this is direct relation. I think that's what this is. This is something that was in relationship with royalty. There's an error of the heart. Wow, okay. What I'm getting through here is something about, this is just not very nice, but whatever. I'm getting slice on the side of somebody that was in the line of the royalty or had the royalty with them. They already had their contractual commitments, and I'm getting slice on the side. This is what was happening. Error of the heart, error of the technology, error of the gift. The gift that was the unintended gift. Now, do we have healer coming through here. Error of the heart, error of the heart. You really fell hard for this fucker. I think that he was probably decent, but trapped by his position. Trapped by his position, you were trapped. Error of the heart, error of the heart. There's something that's blocking the flow, and he's juggling all the time, juggling. Error of the heart. Yeah, this is coming through as you being the king, prince, whoever it is, the royalty's side piece. I don't mean to be rude in saying that, but you were the one that was more the heart, and the contract woman didn't like that you were there, but who would? But the problem is that, you know, the contract had already happened as far as what needed to be done for their responsibility to whatever. Error of the heart, error of the heart. You came into this thing about 10 years too late. I think you crossed paths with this guy about 10 years too late. 10 years beyond where he would have been required to marry is what I'm getting. You came in about 10 years after that, offering, I don't know, new infusion of love, of how he saw himself, new infusion. But the error of the heart was costly. We've got the castle, the heart, the crone here. This is something that carried on for years. And I don't think it was unknown to anyone. I think it was like, that was just how they did business back then. That's just, you know, people of certain stations, that's just how they did it. I mean, our morals and what we put on things is our time. It's not necessarily how they did it then. Very, very, it's not even a full-on mistress. I don't think you were the kept woman. I think you were a woman who alleviated the queens from her responsibility. I don't even know that she was the queen. I'm using these royal positions, but I don't know, because it's not that clear. Man, you were in his head big time. I don't think this person was an asshole at all. You were in the, what I'm getting is you were in among, and I'm calling them king and queen. I don't know if they are king and queen. They could be like king and queen that we don't know. King and queen always makes me go to England, but it's not necessarily England. It doesn't feel right, England. It feels It feels Euro, but I can't quite get the time yet. It feels like this whole healer. You were one of the Queen's women. This is saying midwife, and I think that you actually were. I think you were in there with the ladies in waiting and all the people that would be around her. I think she was happy to ditch the king and like free herself from the responsibility of that. There you are. What else do we know about this? Error of the heart. They had to have the home settled. They had to have the needs must of what would be in the time, you know, how you make sure you get the contracts laid in, and then you make sure that everything is set up for the wedding. That was the needs must. To ensconce the home, to ensconce the lineage is what I'm getting. Well, this just went a whole different route. This feels like the daughter of you, the royalty, the daughter. It went a whole different route. Error of the heart. So it feels as though you have a child by this person who would be considered, you know, illegit, but that would be half siblings to all the heirs, that kind of thing. This queen is like a generous queen. She must not really care for this king much either, because this woman doesn't care for this man in that hugely great way. She's not vindictive or angry or anything. She thinks about the danger if the whole world doesn't see it as liberally as she does. She's relieved. But she does worry about what that will do to her standing and for her children. And I don't think she's even worried about being replaced by you, because I think that she's almost like she's just so relieved. She probably just finds him horrible. He's not her cup of tea at all. This, whatever was arranged for their marriage, she wasn't thrilled about it. It's not like she even banishes you. It's like as long as it's kept quiet and within the right circles, your kids can even interact, and they wouldn't know they were related, but they would know of each other and interact and relate. That's really trippy. What else is going on? Very, very strange. Your kids are considered the wildlings. All of them think of themselves as the wildlings, the ones that are considered legit and the ones that are illegit. They are considered the wildlings to themselves. Your daughter is the wildling. She's a one. She's a single. Your daughter is an only child. And it feels like there's many that are legit. She's probably just flat out worn out. It feels like one of her children gets older and is more aware of the two of you. And this is when you guys have to mellow things down, temper it down, settle it down. Because it's a hard thing for the children to understand when they start understanding the ways of adults a little bit more. Really weird. Two boys coming through. Two boys that are coming through, and one of them is really sharp minded. The other one is like more stubborn. Doesn't like what's put on him as far as the burden of the responsibility of what his birth says. This is what you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to become. it's just so strange because there's few among the inner circle of you and of this whole family situation, especially the ones that are older than the kids, the adults in the situation. There's few among you that don't see the rightness. I'm getting like, it, how do you escape this without anybody having this huge judgment on you? Because you don't. You don't. And everybody seems to understand that this is the better fit. Is there something wrong with her health? You come in over the top of her. This doesn't even answer the question. This speaks more to you. Give me a second. Again, you come in over the top of her. If anyone is off course, she's meant to bear the kids, bear the whatever. She dies younger than what is expected. There is something with her health. Because this comes in as you. It's like, I'm getting, the only story that I know to compare it to would be like Lancelot and Guinevere, sort of. Because they were probably always meant to be. But instead of having the older king be the thing, it's almost like, in this situation, this would be the older one. This would be the one that is not the perfect match. This is more the perfect match. And I don't think it's just so weird. There's no such disruption. I think she suspects. I think she has a little bit of, not suspects there's an affair. I think she suspects that her death is coming soon. I think she's gotten weaker with every childbirth that she's had. I think it's why she's relieved. Oh. Okay. In modern times, it would be like, I think it's Julia Robertson's stepmom or something, and the wife is dying of cancer, knows she's dying of cancer, wants to make sure the kids are squared away because she knows she's going to die young. This is what I'm getting. This is why it's there. And I think she is relieved. I don't think this one freaked out at all. I think everybody gets this. Everybody sees this. They see that she fades. They see this new start as somebody that would be looking after the wildlings and close to the wildlings and not a problem. Like, even like all the upstanding people that are around, here comes the Hierophant. And it's like, yeah, we'll just keep this on the hush. We'll just keep this, like, whoever would be the church authority, the person that would be like, the moral judge. It's like, we keep this on the hush. It's the situation that it is. It's the willing sacrifice. Everybody, like, there isn't even animosity between you and this woman. That's just like we think in our terms when we think, oh, yeah, what? But that's not how it is. She knows every time that she has had a baby that she's closer to her death. She knows this, and it's taken more and more out of her every time. And she would rather have, she feels like she's losing her life force every time she's having a child. So when you come in the picture, this is the relationship between you two. She gets it. She sees it. She sees this. She sees this energy of the youthfulness, able to keep up with the wildlings. She's not freaked out in the least. Not in the least. It's the craziest thing ever. It's like, she just knows. She just knows. It's almost as if she has a sense of knowing, and she knows that this would work. So, I think she dies before she hits 40. I think she dies like early 30. Maybe younger than that. I think she dies when she turns 30. I think on the birth of her fourth child, she knows. On the birth of the fourth child, she's given the knowing. And I think along the way, with each birth, as it has gotten harder, she knows. She's looked. She was the crone. Because she was the older one. That's how the crone goes. it's like well known within the group, within the community. It's well known, and it's not considered unforgivable. It's not considered a betrayal. It's considered doing of a favor. It's almost like sometimes biblical type of nonsense, you know. Yeah. Anything else? What about you? How did you feel? Because you knew. You knew when she went that you would have her kids. She knew that you would have her kids' back. You knew. Wow. Fierce protection. Fierce protection of the children here. Fierce protection. So did he make this one legit after she went? Was he able to? I don't think he was, for some reason. And maybe it has to do with station of birth. I think that yeah. She doesn't get acknowledged, but she doesn't get shortchanged much either. Very interesting and strange. It's like, this is just the way it goes. This is the way it goes. And this guy, poor guy, because like, I don't think that he didn't care for her at all. It just seems like it was a mismatch from the start, and it was arranged, and it wasn't the right arrangement. So he made a different arrangement, and it's almost like she okayed the arrangement and made sure that it would work because her kids were on the line. Her love of her kids was far more fierce than her love of her spouse. Her love of her kids was the reason that I think she helped get you into the position that you were in. And why she honored you as a person throughout. Very strange. Oh yeah, she did. You had the fierceness for her kids, and she knew exactly who she was choosing. She knew exactly who she was choosing. She set her sights. She knew exactly who she was choosing. It must be that when she had these awarenesses and these knowing, that she became laser focused on these ones. That's what I'm getting. That's complete. It's not going to let me go much further than this. Just know that this whole group of family was friends. This whole group was friends. I would not be surprised if there was something about her that there was like something like it's not anemia, but it's almost like hemophilia or something, where there's a bleeding, an issue of bleeding and not having blood clot right. That was high risk. I don't know that she was always sickly child, but I think that she knew that this was what was going on. That's just crazy. That's what I'm getting. It was like, you're the other woman, but in the best ever, like revered by everyone knows. Everyone knows that this one is not long for the world when they see her fading after she has each child. She just doesn't physically recover well, and she knows. And you have the energy of youth on your side. That's just the craziest. That's complete. Wow. I don't think I've ever gotten anything like that. Yeah. Crazy.